Right now I want to talk about an alarming report in The Australian this weekend that has revealed sheep prices in Western Australia have dropped so low that some farmers say they cannot afford to sell or to keep their flocks. Now, the poor prices have been partly attributed to a massive decline in industry confidence that's been brought on by the Albanese government's moves to scrap the live sheep export trade, which mostly operates out of Western Australia. Now, this is something that Nicolle Flint has been looking into this week, and I'm delighted to say she joins me now. Nicolle, welcome to Bernardi again. Thousands and thousands of people are actually opposing this ban, including the Western Australian Labor government. And yet it's clear it's already having a devastating impact on the industry before it's even properly begun. What can we do about it?
Oh, well, Cory, get rid of the federal Labor government, but that won't happen until the next election. This is just devastating for West Australian farmers, but the flow-on effect will impact farmers across the nation. So we've seen reports yesterday in the Weekend Australian that sheep prices have dropped from about $120 a head to $20 a head, because farmers know that the live export ban is coming if the federal Labor government stay in power. Cory, you can't recover your costs at that sort of price. So this is the ban is apparently going to be years out still, but already we are seeing the terrible impact on the market. So I don't think we know Labor haven't thought this through. We know that they're being controlled by the left of the party, who are trying to appeal to inner city greenies and, you know, left-wing bleeding hearts who don't think that we should eat animals at all, let alone live export them. But the economic impact is going to be huge, because it's not just farmers in WA wanting to live export or countries that we live export to saying, no, we will find a new supplier because we have no confidence that Australia will continue to sell to us. The flow-on impact is for the rest of wool growers and sheep growers around the nation, because the impact hits our domestic prices as well. And also, you would think cattle producers, I know cattle producers are starting to get nervous too, because we have seen Labor previously and suddenly shut down live cattle exports, which then also means trading partners like Malaysia and Indonesia start getting really nervous as well, that cattle will be next.
Okay.
So,
Can I jump in here?
Yes.
You mentioned a couple of things. Let's stick with sheep for a second. As a consumer, I'm outraged at the cost of meat in this country, and it could be a plot by the vegans. I don't think it is, but to discourage us. But wouldn't lower sheep prices mean lower meat prices for consumers domestically?
Well, you might want to ask that question of the likes of Coles and Woolworths and Aldi, perhaps, Cory, because we usually don't see consumers get price drops passed on to them.
That's true. We haven't seen the price of lamb come down, have we?
That's right. That's correct.
Okay, and how do you respond to the other complaint, which is some people have genuine concerns about the conditions that these sheep are exported in, but you made a very valid point that people in other countries want fresh, livestock.
Yes.
So they know
they don't
that
want
their
a
meat
frozen
is
product.
frozen.
So, Cory, Australia has the most stringent live export standards of any country in the entire world. And the statistics, the factual statistics show that the mortality rate of live exported cattle and sheep is less than 1%. Massively less than 1% of all of the livestock that we export, that we live export, make it there alive, on time, in good shape. Now, Labor is not only proposing to ban live export of sheep, it is also currently has a bill before federal parliament to increase the power of the Inspector General of Live Export to extend that to animal welfare. Now, I suppose if you add animal welfare in, Cory, you may well not be allowed to eat the animal at all. Oh. Because that's really contrary to animal welfare, isn't it? So this is the madness. Now, don't forget, we've also got the Labor...
Filling me with horror here, not being able to eat animals.
People should be. We've got the Labor Party's national conference next weekend, and one of the proposals, apparently, is that the livestock sector needs to halve its emissions, its methane emissions, by 2030. So I've got to actually wonder, Cory, is the hidden agenda of the Labor Party to severely curtail or encourage farmers to get out of livestock and meet their climate change targets by seeing a massively reduced size of our sheep and cattle populations, by undermining the live export market, messing with domestic prices because there's no longer any price competition with international buyers as well, and all of a sudden farmers have to find another thing to farm.
We've got 30 seconds or so, but isn't this exactly what we've seen in Europe? In the Netherlands, they're saying you can't use phosphate.
They're shutting down 3,000 farms. And in Ireland, they're planning to cull 200,000 perfectly healthy cattle for climate change.
Yeah, and animal welfare, of course, because they can't do anything with it. This is an attack on a $90 billion industry that basically has allowed Australia to prosper for that and the mineral resources industry, both under attack.
Yes.
Good on you for unveiling this hidden agenda, Nicolle, because we've got to stick up for our farmers lest we all suffer.